What's up, meow meow? Happy Sunday evening to you also. Well, I decided to show my face on YouTube today. Haven't been here in a while. I don't know. I keep saying that every time I come back to this channel. I always say I haven't been here for a while. So I decided to come and hang out for a minute. Not really. Don't really have anything particular in mind to talk about. Just here to chit chat. Whatever happens, happen. Whoever come through is come through. So there's a lot going on politically in this world today, in this country. That is, I haven't been alive in a minute, so since I haven't been alive, there have been a lot of things going on, like the Trump assassination attempt. Uh, Kamala Harris now running for president after Joe Biden dropped out, well, were forced out rather. Um, Kamala Harris just discovered that she's black the other day. So there's a lot of things happening in this country that we can talk about, that I can talk about, that is. Um, oh, Mean Mug. Mean Mug left me a comment a week ago telling me I need to think outside the box. And basically what he was talking about was, it was about Trump and racism. And me Mug was telling me I need to think outside the box on that subject. And I'm like, what is there to think outside the box on? Racism is racism. For some strange reason, a lot of black conservatives who support Donald Trump, they ignore the racism in the mega party just to fit into the mega party. And that's something they don't want to talk about. They don't want to talk about the racism that exists in the Republican Party today for whatever reason. I don't know why. How can you ignore that? The Sonia Massey case, I have all these white cops saying that shooting was not justified. But you know what? We have two black individuals who support Donald Trump who's saying it is justified. Candace Owens and Brandon Tatum. All these white people saying it was not justified, but you got these two black people who just have to say that anything that pertaining to black people, the black person was in the wrong. That's how crazy this black mega support is. You have to deny your own people in order to fit into that group. You had Byron Donalds this morning on what's the name of the show? One of the morning shows on ABC with George Stephanopoulos. George was asking him about the comment Trump made about Kamala Harris being black, and Byron Donalds just really didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want to talk about it. See, they ignore racism just to fit in, which is kind of crazy. You shouldn't have to be blind to racism in order to fit in. I've been watching. Lately, I've been watching a lot of these channels that support Donald Trump. These black channels that support Donald Trump, and it's the same stick. It's the same old stick. They ignore all the racism that's surrounding Donald Trump just to fit in and support Donald Trump. Like Nick Fuentes. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to talk about why Donald Trump was having dinner with a known racist, with a guy who have made it known that he do not like Jewish people, he do not like black people. He just think white people are the most superior people on this earth. And Donald Trump had dinner with him. But they don't want to talk about that. These black mega supporters don't want to talk about that. They just ignore the racism. They don't want to talk about Charlie Kirk and his racism. Donald Trump attends his conferences in the whole nine, but they don't want to talk about it though. What's up, Tanya? They don't want to talk about that. It's amazing how we ignore things, and then we sit here and turn around and blame the Democrat. For instance, the DEI thing. I think it's very fascinating that a lot of people don't understand what DEI is. They think that every black person who makes it to the top got there because of their skin color, which is kind of crazy. But if you look at Republicans and you look at black Republicans, they're the only ones that made it on their own. Now, any Democrat who's black who make it to the top, they're there because of their skin color. I sit back now, I just laugh at a lot of this stuff that goes on. I listen to a lot of this crap and I just laugh at it because none of it makes sense. You know, they ignore the fact that Clarence Thomas was appointed to the bench, Supreme Court, because they wanted a black man to replace Thurgood Marshall. But they don't want to call that a DEI hire. You know, they don't want to talk about Amy Coney Barrett being appointed to the Supreme Court because Trump wanted to appoint a woman to replace Ruth Bader Ginsburg. They don't want to talk about that. That wasn't DEI, but they want to talk about Kamala Harris. They want to talk about other black people who got their positions because somebody wanted the first black vice president. And nothing wrong with that. She's qualified. She's more qualified than J.D. Vance is. But he's not a DEI hire, but she is. You know, politics is just crazy. None of this shit makes sense anymore. None of it. And it's kind of crazy that we sit back and we are manipulated by a whole bunch of people who just want to stay in power. They'll tell you anything and everything to stay in power. You know, and the thing about it is, we as Americans, we are being used as pawns, and we seem like we don't care about being used as pawns. It's all about keeping people afraid of the left or afraid of the right, and these people stay in power. It's kind of weird. It's very weird. Kanyan, what kind of question is that? You already know the answer to that, Kanyan. I don't even have to answer that question. You already know the answer to that. You know, and the thing about that is, Kanyan, honestly though, by living in Mass, it doesn't make a difference. It really don't make a difference who I vote for in Mass, because of the way the electoral college is set up, and my vote don't really count. Because I live I guess it counts in a blue state, as in that sense, but really, it don't really count because this is a blue state. But most definitely, I'm going Kamala. Most definitely. I would have voted for Joe Biden. Even though I thought he was too old, but I still would have voted for him. And actually, I think Joe Biden would have beat Trump. I really do. And the reason why I feel that way, because there are so many Republicans that are turned off from Donald Trump that Joe Biden would have beat him. The polls are nonsense. I don't believe in none of these polls. The polls are just nonsense. And I think people need to understand, just because a poll is saying one thing, they're inaccurate majority of the time. That's why you got 10 different polls saying 10 different things. That's crazy. That's really crazy. You know, in 2020, everybody said there was going to be a red wave in 2020. What happened? It didn't happen. But people still believe in these polls. You know what? McCain was an old Republican, and I could have voted for McCain. I could have voted for him. See, Those old Republicans, Mitt Romney, I could have voted for him because Mitt Romney is the reason why Mass have the healthcare system they have. So people fail to really understand the old Republicans was the real Republicans. This mega crap, this is not Republican. These are not conservatives. Trump is nothing but a populist. That's all Trump is, a populist. He's not a conservative. He's not a real Republican. He don't have the values that he has are not really his values. When it comes to abortion, Trump don't believe in being pro-life. Trump is not pro-life. Trump is doing this just to get elected. That's it. He's not pro-life. He's not a fiscal conservative Republican, because we all know that he spent a lot of money in the 4 years he was in office. He don't care about tapping down the debt. He don't care about none of that. Trump is nothing but a populist. That's all. Majority of the people who vote for Trump are not even conservatives. They're not. They're voting for Trump because Trump is telling them what they want to hear. Actually, what Trump is doing, if you go back to the late 60s and the 70s, when they had the, what did you just call it? The Southern Strategy, which was all about fear. Putting fear into people and making them vote for you. You talk about crime, you talk about immigration, you talk about everything that scares people to vote for you. That's what Trump is doing. That's why he always talking about immigration. That's why he always talking about crime. He never talk about his policies, but he's always talking about things to scare you. Because that's all he's trying to do, is to scare you into voting for him. The boogeyman is coming to get you if you don't vote for me. That's it. Even though crime is down, but he's telling you crime is up because he want to scare you. Even though the immigration system is messed up and he's not trying to fix it because he want to use it to scare you. When they were trying to pass that bill a few months back to help with the immigration, with the border, they didn't want to pass that bill because they didn't want to give the Democrats a win because they want to scare you. It's all about scare tactics. That's it. All about fear. They love keeping Americans in fear. You know, it's kind of sad that you can't agree on anything in this country anymore. You know, they brought those hostages home, those prisoners home, and they can't even agree on that. This country is so divided now because of Donald Trump that they can't agree on anything because they want to keep Americans in fear. They want to keep America fighting against each other. And both sides does it. And that's the crazy thing about it. Both sides are doing it. It's like hypocrites. We live in a hypocritical country now. One side does it, it's bad. The other side does it, it's good. But it's the exact same thing. It's kind of crazy. You know, they was talking about they was talking about how Biden gave up so much for those prisoners coming home. But at the same time, they don't want to talk about when Trump did the same thing. Same thing. But Biden does it, it's bad. Trump does it, it's okay. What's up, Classic Likes? I can't be serious. I can't be serious about what, Classic? I'm serious about everything I talk about. Anything that comes out of my mouth politically, I'm serious about. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I'm serious. Yeah, I'm serious. Why wouldn't I be serious? Now you got to kind of like break it down to exactly what I'm talking about because I just talked about 10 different things in the last 2 minutes. So which one of those things are you talking about? Even though I am serious about all 10, but break it down to a specific one. That way I can drill down into it. You're putting your democratic thoughts on Trump. What do you mean by that? It's true. Trump is not a Republican. He's not a conservative. He's a populist. If you believe that Trump is a true Republican, you're fooling yourself. Understand that. The guy is not a true conservative. He's not a true Republican. You got to remember, I think it was 2010. He was donated to the Democrat Party in 2010. See, a lot of y'all don't understand the whole concept of what Trump is about power. That's his ego, power tripping. And the only reason he's running for president again, to stay out of prison. That's the only reason he's running for president again. Trying to stay ahead of the law. And that's a fact. That's a real fact. Better yet, Classic, won't you tell me why you think he's a real Republican or a real conservative for that matter? He's a capitalist. Yeah, nah, you got it wrong. It's not about being a capitalist. He's a populist, not a capitalist. There's a lot of capitalist people who believe in the capitalist system, but that don't make him a conservative or a Republican. I guarantee you, you can't tell me what Trump is running on today. What is his policy he's running on? What? Give me one main policy that Trump is running on today. Don't say immigration, because immigration is just a scare tactic. No, that's not my fault. For one thing, Clive, you got to understand a capitalist, that's a person who believes in the system, the American system, capitalism. That could be anybody. That's anybody. To make America great again. So how many times can you make America great again? He just ran on that, what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago. So you think America? So you think America is a fucked up country? See one thing that y'all fail to realize when Trump is telling y'all that he's trying to make America great again, he's trying to say that America is a fucked up country. Now, can y'all say America's a fucked up country? What did Biden do for America? Well, he brought America out of a pandemic. He created a lot of jobs. There's a lot of Republicans who are praising his infrastructure bill indirect, even though they didn't vote for the bill. But all those projects that were created from that bill, they are actually taking credit for it. You know, he passed the PACT Act, which was a healthcare bill for veterans. What else did he do? He stabilized the country financially. What am I making up? What am I making up? I'm telling the truth. There are a lot of Republicans who are praising, who are taking credit for the infrastructure bill projects. They didn't vote for it, but they're taking credit for it in their districts. That's not making it up. That's a fact. There are far more Americans without jobs. Hold on. How can that be when unemployment was at a record low at one point in time in this country under Biden? So how can that be? How can that be true? Two things can't be true at once. There are more people with jobs in this country than ever before. Let me see. Let me Google it. I'm gonna Google it. What was the lowest unemployment rate in this country under Biden? Let's see. Unemployment is at its lowest level in 54 years. This was February 3rd, 2023. Let's see. It was at 3.4% in February of 2023. 3.4%. Let's see. Let me Google this for you also while I'm at it. What was the lowest unemployment rate for Black people under Biden? Let's see. In that same year, Black unemployment hit a record low of 4.8%. 4.8% under Biden. And that was in April 2023. Let's see, what was the lowest under Trump? 5.3 under Trump. And that was in August of 2019. What else you want to know? I'm just in the Google machine. I'm just in the Google machine. I'm just saying. See, y'all sit here and y'all believe this crap that Trump is telling y'all, but y'all won't believe Google. I'm just saying. These are the factual numbers here. Trump didn't do what you think he did. I said it one what now? That last word, I think you misspelled that last word because I have no idea what that last word is. I gave you 1 year. We talking about unemployment. You was talking about jobs. Remember? That's why we talking about unemployment because you talking about jobs. That's why I gave you those numbers. And I wasn't giving you 1 year. I was giving you the lowest. You talking about term? Well, you can't talk about term because you got to realize there's a pandemic in there. So if you want to talk about term, Trump last year was a pandemic year. So you don't want to add his full 1 year term. And I'm just being honest. Well, Darius, you got to understand. Y'all talking about Kamala having published any policies. What policies have Trump published? And Trump been running for how long? Trump been running for like 3 years with no policies. No, what I'm saying is in 2023, that's what the lowest unemployment hit in 2023. That's why I pointed that out. In February of 2023, the overall unemployment was 3.8. I think it was 3.8 or 3.4. And then in April of 2023, that was the lowest unemployment for Black people in history. That was 4.7. Honestly, Darius, his policies is he got one policy really, and that one policy is immigration, in which is really not a policy. He don't have no policies. Whatever's written on a website, it just words on a website. Those are not his policies really. They just put that shit up there to pretend like he got policies. Trump do not have policies. Matter of fact, listen to some of his interviews. His agenda is trash. All he talk about is immigration and crime. That's it. Matter of fact, when he was at that National Black Journalist Conference, they asked him one simple question, and he lost his freaking mind. He don't have policies. I tell you what, Darius, since you've seen his policies, right? Tell me one of his policies. Tell me one of his policies. I tell you what, don't say crime and don't say immigration. Anything besides those two. What's up, Griff? Yeah, twice in one day. Yeah, I got a lot of time tonight, so that's why I'm doing all these shows. No tax on tips. Now, I'm asking you a question, Darius. How many people do you think is affected by that? Percentage-wise. Very, very small percentage of people is affected by that. Very, very small percentage. Project 25. Hey, Kanyan, you know they just got rid of the guy who was heading that project, right? That's a losing battle there. They don't want to talk about Project 25. Trump is running from that. Remember what he said, right? I have no idea about Project 25. And that's true. There are thousands, but in the larger picture, there's a very, very small percentage of people who relies on tips. Now, I will give you credit for one thing. I will give you credit for this right here. Now, I did forget about this right here. He did say that he wanted to do away with the taxes on Social Security. I will give you that. Now, that right there is something I can get behind. Yeah, it's a clown show. I can get behind the Social Security, doing away with Social Security tax. And doing away with taxing Social Security benefits, that is. I can get behind that. Because I feel like anybody who's collecting Social Security shouldn't have to pay taxes on it. Especially when you're retired, you're a senior citizen, and you're trying to live off that money, it shouldn't be taxed. So I give you credit for that one. Well, you know what? There's the thing about the tips thing. Honestly, if you want to do something to help waitresses and waiters and anybody who receives tips to make a living off of, raise the tip minimum wage. That will help them even more if you just raise that tip minimum wage, because they only can make a certain amount when they're receiving tips. Hourly, that is. But see, they don't want to do that, because if they start talking about raising minimum wage or raising up that for people who receive tips, they talk about raising the minimum wage, and they don't want to talk about that. So actually, not taxing tips is a way to avoid from giving people minimum wage a raise. So that's just a shell game. What's up, Doug? You can't replace waiters and waiters and waitresses with automation. I don't think we're at that stage yet. Good to see you, man. So, Doug, what do you think about this Kamala Harris thing? What you gonna replace them with, Darius? You gonna replace them with robots? She's a joke. Now, Doug, I want you to tell me exactly what you mean by she's a joke. Oh, come on, Doug. She's not black. It's a hospital that will be missing. Well, I'm gonna disagree with you, Darius, because I just don't see them replacing waiters and waitresses at this point in time. I don't see it. I really don't. Well, hey, Doug, let me ask you a question. What do you consider Barack Obama? What do you consider him white? See, this is what I'm saying. Y'all saying that she's not black, but what do you look at when you look at Barack Obama? What do you see? You see a black man or a white man? Yes, they are mixed race, but we all know majority of the time you're considered when you mix with anything. If you're black and you mix with anything, you consider to be black. We all know that now. So we're not gonna play them word games. We're not gonna play word games now. See, this is what I'm saying about people. Y'all are so disingenuous, man. Y'all are saying y'all using the word mix, knowing that most mixed people who got a black mother or a black father, or might have a white mother or white father, they're considered black still because they're people of color. Well, Obama didn't say he's one race one day and then another. I see, Doug. Can you point out to me when she said that she was only an Indian? Indian? Hey, Darius, are you a Trump supporter? Well, also, y'all fail to realize this woman went to a predominantly black school, HBCU, and she was in a predominantly black sorority. So why wouldn't she identify as being black? So you bring up racist, right? The racist rule, right? So explain to me, how can you support a man who has dinner with a racist? I think a lot of y'all getting like, for instance, when she became, I think was it a senator? When she first became a senator, there was an article written about her being the first Asian elected senator, and a lot of people take that out of context because they wanted to point out that she was the first Asian because there already had been blacks already been elected already. So they were just pointing out one side to make a point of saying that she was the first. That's all that was. She wasn't denying her black side. They was only pointing out that she was an Asian. That's it. And that's true, Doug. But back when she went to the HBCU, there was predominantly black people going, and she was considered herself being black. She was a black Asian. Y'all realize that if you go to Asia and you are, what is the name? Is it's damn, what is the name? When you're black and Asian mix, there's a name that they call you, and I can't think of the name. And that's what Kamala is really. Is it black? Damn, what is that name? Blasian is he called Blasian. It's Blasian. Blasian. Is it Blasian? I think it's Blasian. That's what they call it. That means you're mixed. You're mixed with black and Asian, and that's what Kamala is. That's the term that no one really uses in America, but in Asia, yeah, there you go, Blasian. That's the term that they use, and that's what Kamala is. And that's the whole thing about it. Y'all have to understand, just because someone is pointing out one side of her don't mean that she's not claiming to be black. Nah, I disagree with that, Doug. I disagree with it. And the reason why I disagree with it because she was in a black sorority. She went to a predominantly black HBCU. So you can't deny that. She was 19 years old when she went to college. She graduated from Howard University. So how can we say that she's trying to say that she needs black people to help her? So now she's claiming to be black. She always claimed to be black. But she always tried to embrace her Asian heritage, her Indian heritage also. Come on, Doug. You my age, Doug. Come on, Doug. You've been around long enough. You know when you have either a black mother or a black father and you mix with another race, you're considered to be black. Come on, Doug. You know that. Come on, man. It doesn't make a difference how she was raised. She's a woman of color and she's black. She got a black father. But this is my thing, though. Does it really make a difference? Really, does it really make a difference? Because honestly, this right here really shouldn't be an issue. It shouldn't be an issue at all. I think, see, this is what people want you to do. They want you to get lost. What's incorrect, Kanyan? What's incorrect? They want you to get lost in the sauce and just keep talking about this color thing. And basically, the color thing shouldn't even be in the mix of this. For instance, let's talk about this right here for a second. See, we'll sit here talking about, no, she's gonna win. She's gonna win. She's most definitely gonna win. That you know what? You know what, Darius? She's not the one who talking about her color. Y'all are. Y'all are the one talking about her color. She's not talking about her color. That's the way it is, Kanyan. I'm sorry. Most people knows in today's society, if you got one black parent, no matter what the other parent is, you consider black. That's just a fact. That's a fact of the matter. What's her policies? You know what? I'm gonna place right here. When it comes to policies, her healthcare policy is healthcare for all. When it comes to immigration, yes, she want to control immigration to the point where people should come here. As a matter of fact, a lot of Democrats get a bad rap on immigration, but a lot of Democrats have deported more people than Republicans have. I think a lot of people know her policies. She was a senator, and she's been the vice president for the last 3+ years. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people already know how she feel about a lot of different things. It's not like she's just being introduced to the world in the last week or so. I don't. You know what, Doug? I think people get things mixed up, thinking that Democrats are all about the alphabet and liberal thinking ideals. But you do realize that a lot of people live off Democratic policies, right? Well, Darius, I'm pretty sure in the next few weeks you're gonna hear a lot about her policies. I guarantee you that. Petty crimes. This is what I feel about crime and people being locked up. If you don't put yourself in that situation, they won't lock you up. That's my thought on that. We need to stop making criminals victims. We need to stop that. If and I can say this because I did a lot of things in my life when I was younger, and was I a victim of the system? I'm gonna say no, because I put myself in certain situations, and that's where we look at it. We are looking at things to the point where we put ourselves in certain situations, then we turn around and try to play victim to the system, and you can't do that. Well, Kanyan, sometimes you got to look at things a little deeper. Now, I haven't read a lot about when she was the attorney general of California, or when she was a DA in San Francisco. But my thing about, I guarantee you, if I go and read it, I'm gonna read something differently than what a lot of people are putting out there. Well, Derek, you got to understand also, she ran for president in 2020. So she said a lot of things about her policies then. Now, some of them might have changed since then, but like I said, people know her already. It's not like she's new to this. You do your Google right. That's why I said, honestly, I think a lot of people, they listen to a lot of things that people put out there, and a lot of this stuff is misinformation. A lot of this stuff is misleading information. I guarantee you, it's misleading information. And that's why I said a lot of people need to do the thinking on their own. This free thinking thing have went away. Everybody now, they don't think for themselves anymore. They let a politician think for them. They let talking points think for them. And it's to the point where we need to stop that and start letting everyone do their own research and find out for your own self what's really going on around you. So, Darius, let me ask you a question, Darius. What do you think about Trump policy about giving all cops immunity? What do you think about that policy? Do you think all cops need blanket immunity? Hey, let me ask you a question, Doug. How is immigration affecting you? Gas prices are not going back down because Trump is in office, for one thing. Food prices are not going down because Trump is in office. Y'all blaming everything on the Democrat Party and Joe Biden, and actually, Joe Biden have really nothing to do with high gas prices. The food prices are basically being gouged due to the pandemic. That would raise the prices on that. Tax dollars. I don't think my tax dollars. Your taxes ain't going up because of immigration. Nah, you know why, Kanyon? Nothing's gonna change my vote because I see it from both sides, and I see Don the Con. It's just conning everybody. Don the Con is not gonna do nothing to help no one in this country if he's reelected. Bottom line. No, let me take that back. He's not going to help no one like me if he's reelected. Now, who he is going to help is people like the billionaires. He's going to help them with their taxes. But people like me, ain't nothing he's going to do for me. And he's nothing going to do for Darius. Ain't nothing he's going to do for Kanyon. Ain't nothing he's going to do for Doug. Ain't nothing he's going to do for no one but the millionaires and billionaires in this country. That's it. The federal government has never prosecuted a cop as of the recent brutality killing cases. That's not true. They have prosecuted several cops federally. Walter Scott, the guy that killed Walter Scott, he was prosecuted by the federal government. So that's not true, Darius. The federal government has prosecuted cops for killing a black man. He was prosecuted by the federal government regardless if he was prosecuted first or last, but he was still prosecuted by the federal government. So when people said that that what Trump is talking about doesn't matter, it does matter. That's not true either, Darius. Because I believe there was a case, I can't think of the case, but I think there was a case where the state actually lost the case and the federal government picked the case up. I got to go find the case, but there was a case where the state government lost the case and the federal government picked the case up and convicted the guy. So that that immunity thing Trump is talking about, that's real. Yes, it was. I got to find the case though. Better yet, let me Google. Let me get the Google machine out. How many cases have the federal government prosecuted with police officers for brutality? All right, so right here, it's rarely done. Is rarely charged for a sexist force in the federal system but there was 242 cases. I'm sorry, it was 242 charges in just 49 cases in fiscal year 2019. So it's not that many, but they do it. Actually, it's just talking in general. There's no specific case that is pointing out. Yeah, there's no specific case that they're pointing out. They're just giving numbers. It's just pretty much numbers. So, in other words, Darius, you believe that what Trump is saying about immunity for police officers is just a bullshit, as usual. He just talking to be talking. Well, no, actually, Chauvin, he wasn't prosecuted. He wasn't prosecuted federally. Or was he? Was he prosecuted federally? Or was it just state charges? Well, guys, I really appreciate everybody coming through. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Darius. Thank you, Kanyan. Thank you, Griff. I appreciate y'all coming through and keeping me company for the last hour. Like I said, I need to start coming more often, and we start have some real conversations. And actually, with the political season coming up, I think I will be coming back more often. And Doug, my brother Doug, I know y'all hating on Kamala right now, but my brother, y'all have to understand a lot of these policies that y'all are kind of like looking down on, y'all have to understand we all need health care. We all need our Social Security. We all need justice reform. Those are the things. Those are the things we need to think about when we talk about policies that affects us directly. Those are the things that affects us. We always talk about the George Floyd crime bill. Why isn't that passed yet? The reason why it's not passed because we don't have enough Democrats in Washington, D.C. to get that bill passed. We need to get more Democrats in D.C. to get that bill passed. We need to understand that. Letting these Republicans stay in office is not helping us. They don't care. So y'all might dislike Kamala, but trust me, she's going to get us things that Republicans would never get us. All we need is more Democrats in D.C. Now, before I leave, y'all talk about reparations. And I think, Doug, you on this reparation tip. I think you follow Tariq, right? I might be wrong. I'm not sure. I think we had this discussion before. I think you follow Tariq, right? Now, a lot of people fail to understand something. Y'all want reparations? The only way you're gonna get reparations is to get more Democrats in DC. That's it. A lot of people don't understand. Hold on, Darius. Hold on. I just read your comment. Stop the press. Stop the press. Illegal immigration hurts black people the most. Are you serious? Are you serious? Hold on. I'm not finna go nowhere now because y'all just told me so. Y'all really think illegal immigrations are hurting black people? Do y'all really believe that? Tell me something. All right, let me back up a couple steps here. I see a lot of Hispanics. I see a lot of people who are living in this country, and they might be legal, they might be illegal, they might be undocumented, they might be documented. I don't know what their status is. But a lot of these people, I see cutting grass. I see working in hotels. I see them working in restaurants, washing dishes. I see them doing a lot of jobs that black people do not want to do. So how are these people hurting us? I tell you what, I'm not a rich person. I'm barely making it in my life. But is it because of immigration? No, it's not. See, I think a lot of us are getting lost to the point where we are trying to blame immigration on our issues, and it's not immigration. It's us. Honestly, Doug, I'm gonna take Chicago for instance, because I've seen a lot of videos about Chicago and how a lot of black people in Chicago are upset about immigration. You know what? They're upset for no reason. You know why? Because if it wasn't immigration they was upset about, there'd be something else they'd be upset about. They just phone someone to blame for their own issues. That's all it is. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Black people are looking for an excuse to blame someone else. Bottom line. Bottom line. They don't care about their own neighborhoods. They don't care about their neighborhoods in Chicago. They don't care about the killings. They don't care about the violence, the crime. They don't care about none of that. But when the immigration start coming to their city, they want to blame immigration for everything. I even seen a video where they was blaming immigration for crime in Chicago. That's how bad it is. They need someone to blame all this stuff on. So blame it on the immigrants. Blame it on the immigrants. You are a taxpaying citizen. I'm a taxpaying citizen. But trust me, there's a lot of people complaining about immigrants who don't even work. They don't even work. I'm just being real. I'm just being all to be real. There's a lot of people complaining, and they don't even care about their own neighborhood anyway. They had terrible neighborhoods before immigration, and they're going to have terrible neighborhoods after immigration because they don't care. I live in a nice complex. Y'all got me on the road now. I live in a nice complex, right? Nice area. Ask Super Jim. Super Jim done been to my house. He knows the type of neighborhood I live in. I live in a nice neighborhood. Now, I'm going to tell you something, Doug. I live in a nice neighborhood. It's nice. It's better than average. And y'all gonna think I'm mean. Y'all gonna think I'm really turbo when I say this. But I've been living out here almost 7 years. Over the last 2, maybe 3 years, the neighborhood has started going down. And I'm gonna say it. It ain't because of immigrants either. It's because of people like me. People with my skin color is bringing the neighborhood down. Do you know they had to put a sign on the dumpster to tell people to keep the dumpster closed? Because people will leave the dumpster open. They'll leave trash on the ground outside the dumpster. And it's people like us who are destroying this neighborhood. Not immigrants, but us. See, this is what I'm saying. We'll sit here and blame immigrants for all the ills in our community, but at the same time, we're doing the same thing. We're destroying our own community. We don't care. A couple of years ago, I did a video where I was talking about a guy who was standing 20 feet from the dumpster and decided to take his trash and throw it on the ground in the parking lot. And I sit here and watch that from my window. See, this is the reason why I don't care about immigrants, undocumented immigrants moving into the neighborhood. Because in my neighborhood, we are destroying it. We are. And that's why I don't really get into this undocumented immigrant BS. Chicago, I guarantee you some of the people who are complaining about immigrants coming in, I guarantee you they didn't give 2 cents about their neighborhoods being destroyed prior to undocumented immigrants coming into the neighborhood. Guarantee you. Because we need someone to blame for our ills. That's what's going on. But see, that's what I'm saying, Doug. We bring the value down too. So why are we sitting here blaming undocumented immigrants for doing something that we've been doing? You know, it's kind of crazy. It's really crazy. Another thing also, why do you think they're putting undocumented immigrants into your neighborhood? They're not putting them out in the suburbs. They're not putting them in the white folk neighborhood. You know why they're not putting them out there? Because those are nice neighborhoods. So take them to where the trash is at. Take them where the neighborhoods already ran down already. I might be sounding cruel when I'm saying this, but that's just the truth. No, Derek, that's the truth, man. That's just the truth, man. It's honest God, the truth. I'm speaking. I have no shame in speaking the truth. When the truth is the truth. I'm gonna disagree with that too, Doug. Benefits. Do you know how many black people sit home every day and make a career out of living off the government? See, this is what I'm saying. We don't care if we got people living off the government generation after generation after generation is living off the government. We don't care about them, but we care about immigrants getting a little food stamps, getting a little federal assistance here. When we're doing the same thing. We're doing the same thing. I'm going to show you how valuable they are to this country, Darius. You remember back when Trump first got elected and he was kicking all these immigrants out of the country, and a lot of immigrants were scared to be here, so they decided to leave and run away and just go to different places. Do you know who was hurt by that? Farmers. Farmers was hurt by immigrants being afraid to work in the fields. No one else want to do those jobs. No one else want to do those jobs. No one want to pick fruit. No one want to pick vegetables. No one want to work on a farm. The ones that was doing that labor was immigrants. That's it. No, I disagree with that. My thing is Mexicans, Hispanics in general are doing jobs that we don't want to do. They're doing jobs that we don't want to do. If that was so true, Darius, Why was those farmers in Alabama hurting for labor? If that was the case. Matter of fact, Florida went through the same thing. They was hurting for labor. After they passed those laws in Florida, they started hurting for labor because we don't want to do those jobs. How many black people you know works on a farm? How many black people you know want to work in a hotel cleaning rooms or washing dishes? Those are not the jobs that black people are looking for. They're not looking for those jobs. We have to be real. We have to look at reality here. You know, we need to understand. We need to understand we're not doing those jobs. That's what I'm saying. We're making money. We want to make money elsewhere. We're doing things differently. We don't want to work in the farms. We don't want to work doing hard labor anymore. We're finding different jobs. See, and Darius, your boy Trump, you know, they asked him, what is a black job? He couldn't answer that question. He said a job everybody is doing. Ladies doing OnlyFans. Hey, that's a job. It's a job. I'm pretty sure there's black people in the hotel industry, but still, a lot of black people still don't want those jobs. But my thing is, why are we worried about low entry, low paying jobs anyway? We should be shooting for jobs that are going to pay us a living wage. Bottom line. But like I said, we need to stop playing victim. We are trying to play victim to undocumented immigrants. And that's not the case. And Doug, honestly, you know, people like Tariq, people like Umar Johnson, they want to keep y'all upset. They want to keep y'all mad because that's how they make their money. They make their money off keeping y'all mad, keeping y'all upset. You know, that's how they make their money. Like this reparation thing. Tariq is talking about reparations. He leading this charge for reparations. But what is Tariq actually doing to get reparations? Is he talking to the right people? Is he up there in DC lobbying the Congress, Black Caucus? Is he up there lobbying politicians to help him with his reparations? What is he doing to help attain reparations for the people other than talk? They're not doing anything like that. They're telling black people not to vote. How can you tell black people not to vote when you're looking for reparations? The only way you're going to get reparations if you get enough Democrats in office who agree with you and will pass that bill. But they're not trying to do that. They're telling black people don't vote. That's how I know it's a scam. It's nothing but a scam to keep people donating to his pockets. That's it. You never hear them talk about who they're talking to politically wise. You will not get a bill passed unless you're interacting with a politician. Bottom line. That's just reality. But a lot of people don't want to see reality. They just want to talk. See, that's one thing with today's race hustlers. They own the internet, they own social media, doing nothing but posting nonsense. Can someone tell me what Tariq Nasheed did to help black people? Physically help black people? Can someone tell me what Umar Johnson have done to physically help black people? Nothing. Nothing but talk. Get on the internet, talk about white people and what white people are doing to black people. That's it. You don't see them marching in the street on a regular basis. You'll see them out there once every blue moon. Other than that, they're sitting on social media telling you what you should be doing while they're collecting your dollars, while they're getting donations, and y'all sending them on trips around the world, going to Jamaica, going to Hawaii, going to Africa on your dime. That's crazy. How can you tell a man who don't vote to be a politician? Come on, man. This man is telling his people not to even vote, and they want him to be a politician. Yeah, right. that'll mess up his hustle game, because this is just a hustle. Tariq is nothing but a race hustler. Umar Johnson is nothing but a race hustler. Any of these people out here telling y'all that the white man is bad, are nothing but race hustlers. And they're not doing anything to change your life. They're not fighting for you. They're not fighting for you at all. And they just undercut the truth. No one can tell you anything that Tariq Nasheed have done for the betterment of black people. Same thing with Umar. Yeah, y'all see what his name? Jay Morrison took all those people money. They're nothing but hustlers. They're hustling you out of your money. They're telling you all these nice things. They're telling you what you want to hear just to get into your pocketbook. That's all they're doing. Just to get into your pocketbook. They're nothing but hustlers, race hustlers. You know, I know everybody talk about Al Sharpton being a race hustler and Jesse Jackson was a race hustler. And no, compared to Tariq and Umar, they wasn't race hustlers. Jesse Jackson was in the streets marching. Al Sharpton was in the streets marching. They was out there marching, getting their hands dirty. Nah, I'm gonna disagree with you, Doug. He's not telling you about the real. No, he's not telling you about the real history of our people. No. I seen a video a few years back where Tariq was telling people that Martin Luther King was killed in the hospital and not on the balcony. He was telling people that Martin Luther King was injected by a doctor, and that's how he was killed. I'll never forget that video. He was driving, and he was making the video while he was driving, and he was telling people that Martin Luther King did not die on that balcony. He died in the hospital because they interjected him with some kind of syrup or something with a needle, and that's how he died. I never forget that video. Actually, I think I still have that video. I didn't look for that video on one of these channels because I actually did a video on it. Because I want to show people that these idiots don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They just say anything and everything. Like Umar. Umar is a great speaker. He's a great speaker. Nah, I'm gonna look for that video, Doug. I'm gonna look for the video. I'm gonna show you the video where he said that. I couldn't believe he was saying it either, but that's what he said. But Umar is a great speaker. And when you have a great speaker, people listen and they tend to believe everything that person said because they believe that he's speaking the truth because he can use words in a certain way. Where's the school? That's a good question. Where's the school? The school opening is delayed another year, so he's not opening school now until September of 2025. Every year he pushes back 1 year. Oh. But you know, Doug, the sad thing about it is you have people who still believe in this dude. People who still believe that that school is coming, that he's going to open that school still, and it's very close to being open. You see what I mean? And we worried about undocumented immigrants when we got people like Umar running a con on us. The same person who telling you that these undocumented immigrants are affecting the black community is the same person who keep telling you that he's going to open a school up. uh, yeah. Them ladies that they pay him. That's his base. That's his crazy base. Oh, it's crazy, man. I'm telling you, man, it's crazy. It's really crazy. I just I meant to talk about Tommy. Did you see that video with Tommy? And he was talking to the racist Richard Spencer. Richard Spencer, and Richard Spencer was giving him all that shit. Did you ever see that? Did you ever see a clip of that, Doug? I think I got a clip of that still too. Let me see. I think I got it in my phone because I clipped that. I never made a video off of it. I might be a full-blown liberal. Yeah, you saw that. you see. That's another thing. People like Tommy, who's so set against black people, and then when he go into these pretty much all white spaces, people like Richard Spencer treat him like shit. It's crazy. It's like, and Richard Spencer made him look like an idiot, a motherfucking idiot. That was wild. I was listening to. I'm like, he actually sitting here getting what he deserved because he really thought that these white people like Richard Spencer really like him. He really thought that they respected him in that space, and they didn't. Oh, kind of like Candace Owens. She got her wake up call when she got fired from her job because she was talking about the Jewish community. That was her wake up call, even though she's still doing her same little shit, but she got her wake up call. There are certain groups you can't talk about. So, but it's funny when you see these so-called conservative black people get their wake up call. It's really crazy. And all you Trump supporters, y'all have to understand. Y'all are supporting a man who is being supported by white racists. Y'all need to understand that. Y'all are supporting a man who is being supported by white racists. And that's funny to me. Black people supporting someone who has a large following by white racists. That's crazy. That's crazy. That is really crazy. And then I love the ones who are following and saying DEI, 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 DEI. But at the same time, they're ignoring Bison. Who is Bison? Bison is racist? Who is that, Doug? Who is Bison? Oh, Biden. Oh, Biden is racist. Well, you know what, Doug? You might say Biden is racist. Oh, you might say Biden is racist, but isn't Trump? You could say Trump is racist too, right? Just saying. And matter of fact, Trump has shown his racism recently. So what is the point of saying Biden is racist when Trump is racist also? What do you mean no, classic? No what? No, no. What you said no to? You said no to Trump being a racist? What's up, Steve? That's what you said no to? Classic. You know what, Classic? Honestly, I agree with 95% of the 93, 94 crime bill. And also, that crime bill, a lot of black people voted for it too. Well, Doug, the thing about it is, let me ask you a question, Doug. Do you think by discriminating against black people in housing, you don't think that has some a little to do with racism? Classic. I'm not sure how old you are, Classic. How old you are, Classic? I'm gonna tell you a little something. Let me see how old you are first before I say it. Better yet, when was you born? When was you born, Classic? They wasn't lied to. They seen the bill. When was you born, Classic? You 41, right? All right, so that makes you was born in the 80s, right? You're born in the 80s, right? That story is not a true, Doug. That's a true story. Classic. So you're born in the 80s. So you don't remember what was going on in the 80s, right? You was a baby. Better yet, you was born in what, the mid 80s? You was born in the mid 80s, right? What? You were born in what, 85, 86? Early 80s. All right. So let me tell you why I don't care about how people feel about the 94 crime bill. You're born in 83. All right. So let me tell you why I don't care about the 94 crime bill and what people say it locked up a lot of black people. DC, Atlanta, Houston, LA, New York was off the chain. Do you realize how many black people lost their lives during that period of time? Do you realize how many black people was affected due to crime and drugs during that time? Why would I care about people who was ravishing the community going to jail for the rest of their lives over drugs? I don't care. And the reason why, so many people lost their lives. When you look at New Jack City. Look at New Jack City. New Jack City was real. That was real. Do you think I would care about Nino Brown spending the rest of his life in jail? Do you think about if I care about any of those people spending the rest of their lives in jail? People like that destroyed neighborhoods, destroyed lives. People was dying left and right. DC was the murder capital of the world. So many people lost their lives. So do you think I have any sympathy for those people? None. And a lot of politicians and a lot of black politicians, they knew that, and that's why they voted for that bill. I didn't care 2 cents about people being locked up and the key being thrown away, because so many people lost their lives. And you have to understand that. People look back now and say, oh, the 94 crime bill was a racist bill. No, there was one part of that bill that was totally wrong. And that part was when they sit here and made a big difference between cocaine and crack cocaine. That was the only part of that bill that I disagreed with. The rest of it, I could care less. Lock them up, throw away the keys. Because a lot of people lost their lives, a lot of innocent people lost their lives back then, and they couldn't get their lives back. So why would I care about a person going to prison for the rest of their life? I didn't. I didn't care. So that's my point. The 94 crime bill was great for that time period. It was great. It stopped a lot of crime. So y'all can say what y'all want to say about that bill, but that bill solved a lot of issues in the community. There was people like me and you dying. We suffered. And that's just a fact. So when Trump took out that ad for those 5 kids who was accused of raping that woman, y'all didn't think that was racist? When he wanted to give them the death penalty? And they were innocent? Y'all don't see anything wrong with that though, right? Yes, it was people like me and you being locked up because me and you, people like me and you, was out there killing people like me and you. That's why people like me and you was being locked up. One of these days, I'm going to tell y'all a story. I'm going to tell y'all a story one of these days, but I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to tell it to you now. But one of these days, I'm going to tell y'all a story, a personal story about that time period. And maybe then y'all might understand why I feel the way I feel. Because that time period personally affected me. And that's why I feel the way I feel. But one day I'm going to tell y'all that story, though. So Doug, you don't think that story is true about him discriminating against black people in the 70s and with housing? So I'm asking another question then, Doug. I'm gonna tell you that story one day, Classic. Then maybe you might understand a little better of where I'm coming from. So how about this, Doug? Since you don't believe that story, so tell me this right here. Why is Donald Trump having dinner with a white racist? Even though Kanye was there too, Kanye was there also, but still, why would you having dinner with a white racist? Someone who have told you he don't care for black people, he don't care for Jewish people, he think that white people is superiority over everybody. Why would he have dinner with a person like that? I don't, Zeke, I don't understand why you come in. No one cares how you feel respectfully. Who said someone should care? This is my opinion, and actually, you the first idiot to come through the door to say that. So, what makes you want to come through the door and say that? Either you want to give your opinion, or you just want to shut the fuck up. Which one is it? Because everybody here is giving their own opinion, and no one is giving 2 cents about your fucking opinion coming through the door. Bottom line, there's always one idiot in the house. But anyway, Nick Fuentes. I never can say that last name right. You don't remember that story, Doug? Look it up. You know why I went to calling names? Because you come through the door insulting. That's why I went to calling names. Read your comment. Read your first comment coming through the door. If you're gonna come through the door hot like that, at least speak first. Then write a comment like that. Just because you put respectfully behind it don't mean shit. The first two words says a lot. You know, I'm not going to block you. I'm just going to ignore you. You know, see, you never can have a decent conversation. See, I'm sitting having a conversation with people who are disagreeing with me, but we're not insulting no one. We're not telling no one we don't care about their opinion, are we? We're just having a discussion. Classic, he believed what he believed. Doug believed what he believed. I believe what I believe. We all believe different, but are we sitting here insulting one another? I'm just saying, are we sitting here insulting one another when we all are sitting here disagreeing on different things? I'm just saying. Like Doug just said he don't think Trump is a racist. And I disagree with Doug, but I don't sit here and dismiss his opinion just because I disagree with him. But see, I got one idiot who comes to the door who has to troll. Why can't some people just come through the house, come through the door, and just listen and shut the fuck up? I don't get these people. I really don't understand human nature sometimes. See, this is the type of people I think that need to just find something else better to do with their time. Right, Steve? People just want to fight. It's kind of crazy how you can sit here and have a conversation with 3 or 4 different people and we all disagreeing, but one idiot has to come through the door with some nonsense. I'm just saying. You know what, Zeke? Go back and read your initial comment. Go back and read your initial comment, your first comment coming through the door. That's part of the problem right there, Steve. That's part of the problem. The orange turd. Oh my God, man. But nah, like I said, I enjoy talking to Classic. I enjoy talking to Doug. Like I said, we disagree, but the thing about it, we can disagree respectfully, and we don't have to come in and say your opinion doesn't matter. You know, we don't have to insult one another in order to have a conversation. You know, if you want to have a conversation, have an intelligent conversation, come in with your opinion and your whatever you want to say and just discuss it. That's all you have to do. That's all you have to fucking do. All this, we don't care about your opinion, all that bullshit, respectfully, that's some bullshit. You know, that's crazy. And then after that, he sit here and he plays victim like he hasn't did anything. Dumbass. But anyway, like I said, man, I enjoyed y'all stopping by. I'm gonna come by more often. We can have these conversations more often. You know, I love this type of shit. As y'all know, this is the type of shit I'm on now. You know what I'm saying? I like having intelligent conversation with intelligent people. And I respect Doug and I respect Classic. And thank you, Steve. I respect y'all, man, for having this dialogue with me. I really do. So, but with that being said, I'm out. I got to go. And I'll see y'all next time. Thank you guys once again for stopping by. Salute.